We're top of the league. We're top of the league. We're FC Naples. We're top of the
Of the
league.
league.
Welcome to Forza Naples, a podcast covering currently first place, top of the league of USL League One. EIEIEIO, up the USL we go. Paul, how long have you been staring at the table this week?
I, I mean, it's just like a daily, just checking to make sure nobody else has played. I think there's one team right now that if they won by two would topple us. I think Knoxville has 4 points with 2 games played, but they'd have to win by two, and not stressing that when they don't play. So it's pretty exciting. First ever episode of the top of the league team. So that's an exciting, not only top of the league, but also into the second round of the U.S. Open. Man, if you're not on this bandwagon already, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Right. I don't think we could have asked for a better start other than beating Chattanooga week one. I think that's the only way this gets any better. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolute dream start for FC Naples, coming off of a victory 1-0 after playing all the way out in Spokane, Washington, after a tough game in Sarasota the Tuesday beforehand. Teams had the week off this week to prepare for Portland Hearts of Pine. But that
Which
Spokane
might be
game,
the dumbest name of the league. I'm just going to
yeah,
call out Portland now and say that sounds like a team in the NWSL, not in the USL. It does not sound like a real team to me.
I gotta hand it to them though. They have a bold name, and if you're gonna go big, or if you're gonna have a funky name, go for it. And Hearts of
Mm-hmm.
Pine, that's it. You look
And
at
their
the
kids
MLS
match.
teams. Yes, kits are
Kids.
amazing,
Mm-hmm.
both of them. Well done to them. About the most Maine you could get. Sponsored by LL Bean. I mean, come on, peak. It's literally peak Maine.
Yeah, so yeah, it is. It's very Maine. I'm gonna act like I always knew that it was Portland, Maine, and not Portland, Oregon. And we're just gonna leave it at that. I too also knew that the Hearts of Pine were in Maine,
Yes, Portland,
for the
Maine,
record.
not Portland Timbers,
It's
which
gonna
is
be
kind
an
of funny.
interesting. Yeah, well, you can't blame me. I mean, similar names.
Very similar. Both
So
Portlands, both
inter-
tree themed.
interesting that we're gonna get their first, real shot after they beat a high school JV team in their first game. So that 4-0 draw or 4-0 win isn't anything that should scare. You know, they haven't faced Delgado yet. We'll wait and see against this back line. But you talked about the start, and I think from the jump, that's what we said that this team needed to do was that they
Yes.
needed to win early on. And just talking more about like soccer fandom to capture the fans, even though we talked about getting points is really important in this league because of the playoff format versus other soccer leagues. It doesn't excite the fans like seeing the draw on the a bunch of draws wouldn't get the excitement that the wins bring, and that sounds probably like a really oversimplification. Obviously, everybody likes to see their team win more than not, but especially when you're introducing a sport and a style to new people, giving them the traditional, hey, our team is good. We got 2 wins on the card. Um, we're 2-1-0. That's
Right.
a pretty good start. You know, so yeah,
And
I think dream start and another
yeah,
chance Saturday.
yeah, I think it's playing about what we expected them to do as far as style.
Hmm.
If we go back to that Spokane game, another gritty 1-0 win. Spokane dominated possession for the most part, 63% to 37%. Spokane had 12 shots, only one shot on target. Another great save by Delgado, up for save of the week yet again. Uh,
We've seen
we
him a lot.
Yes, yes. Just another solid performance too by Breck Evans. At the back, I saw was named in USL League One Team of the Week. Um, Jake Dangler also stood out to me. Our two center backs are just real solid. Max Glasser out on the wing, and then Ian Garrett as well coming in and having just the whole back four was awesome. And then Matt Poland subs to kind of reassure that back line in the latter half of that game. Just all around a solid performance. Couldn't ask for more on the road. You go out there, I believe it was Spokane's second game of the season. Um, Go
Yep.
out, send those fans home upset, man, and come back with all 3 points. Great to see.
Yeah, so it was their second league game. They did win their first round of the U.S. Open Cup on the road. Um, and I think you said something key that new fans, and I feel like I say that a lot because I still feel like I am very junior and things that, you know, I wish I kind of knew and understood more before really diving in is how important, the manager is to a soccer club. It really doesn't look when you watch games because they're not drawing up plays every single time like they do in football. They don't directly impact play by play, but it's the style and key timely substitutions, knowing when you need to reinforce the back line, or hey, we need to go for the goal here, or we're going to park the bus. Making those decisions and putting the right people onto the pitch that complement what you want as the manager. And it seems like Matt Poland, um, he might not be at FC Naples very long. And I mean, if he keeps this team playing this week, I think that he will be somebody, you know, Europe's not calling yet, but there are definitely some higher division American football teams. So we'll be curious to see. And that might be really premature, but so far he's been impressive.
Yeah,
Impressive.
very, very impressive. Coming up with game plans, slightly tweaking the way we play, it seems, every game, which I really wasn't expecting at this level, at this
Hmm.
third division USL League One level to kind of adjust. Okay, we're playing this team, we're going to do this. We're playing this team, we're going to do this. Like even from Tuesday to Saturday, completely different styles of play against Sarasota, given that's lesser opposition. Um, but just seeing a change in the game plan, it's from a someone who enjoys the tactics side of all of this. It's been fun to see.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. I think it's good too because it keeps it fresh. It's going to be harder to game plan for us and what we're going to do. And I know that the best teams in the world, they're going to play their style and, everybody's got to adjust to them. But there's something gritty about being able to play anybody and be like, we are disciplined enough as players, smart enough as coaches to make a plan that can beat anybody. And I think we got a guy that has proven so far that he can do that. And I think he'll only get better as you get more film. I mean, Portland's going to be interesting. Like I said, this is their first real game against adults, probably, and not high school sophomores. That I think my goal this year is just to make fan base from every other team upset by belittling every accomplishment that they think that they've gotten. I think it'll make me feel good. But
I think that's a very good goal.
yeah, I think so. And just be the villains right from the jump. We want to be the team everybody hates because we show up and it's hard to win, and we just know how to do it down in South Florida. It's a culture
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
Everybody
when
talks
you,
about Miami culture, Naples culture,
yeah, they've not
us
seen
and the
anything until
Blades,
they've seen the 239 in action.
nothing.
We
I,
do seem to be a type of team though that gets really deep under people's skins. Like we saw it in
hmm
Spokane, we saw it against Sarasota, against Madison, against Chattanooga. Those the other team's frustrated, and we've seen two red cards now in 4 games against other teams for just dumb stuff, pushing and shoving and
Nope.
quote unquote fighting after the game's done. Like we saw it all blow up in Sarasota. We saw Spokane players getting really frustrated there towards the end of just not being able to do what they want to do. It's I've also very much enjoyed that from someone who's watched a lot of the championship in England. We are very much one of those just gritty, nasty teams that you don't want to play.
Yeah, and I think it's a style that lasts. I think that
Yes.
you can make it's one of those things and this is kind of where I think I do a lot of speculation because I never played soccer. I imagine more so than really most sports, it's similar to basketball, but like one in the sense of if somebody gets under your skin, it can really throw you off because if you start kind of into that mentality of I'm going to go one on one with this guy, especially against our team, you're not going to be able to go against our back line alone. On a corner kick, you see that a lot. Is drawing fouls on corner kicks that waste high pressure chances for opposing teams because you get a dumb foul because you're going to push off maybe a little bit harder because that guy's been running his mouth or doing whatever. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a harder shove, and now I just cost my team an opportunity. So I think that that's something that can be to our advantage as long as we keep doing it smartly and we don't pick up, dumb red cards. The more common one is a dumb second yellow.
Yeah.
Like the other night, the guy got the second yellow. And there's a time and a place to do that. The point of the game that he did it was probably not the time or the place, but
Yeah.
yeah, it'll
Essentially
be
the player.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy it. I'm interested to see how we match up against this Portland team. Like you said, no, they've played one game in the Open Cup. This will be their first league match coming down to Naples. I think it's fairly cold right now in Maine. I'm not a meteorologist. Did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but to come down and play in the humidity, it's been hot and humid here already, even though we're still in March. So interested to see how they can keep pace with another USL League One team, especially a team that's top of the league. Let's not
top of the
forget.
league. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think we're quite in the home field advantage stretch yet. I think we're probably still probably a full month before that really gets going. And I'm curious to see. I know they're all night games. I'm curious to see if they're going to implement a mandatory water break when they play in
Yeah, I
Naples.
think they've already been doing it.
Have they? I wasn't at the game. I don't remember them doing it the opener. Um,
I believe they had it at the
the second
last
game,
game against Madison because I remember saying this should be mandatory for all soccer games because it gave me a chance to grab a beer
another
and
beer.
then get back to my seat within the two
Mhm.
minutes.
Yeah, and that's a good time to go, honestly, because halftime everybody goes to get the beer.
Right. And
Um,
it is right around 30 minutes in. I think it was like
yep.
28 minutes into the first half. So my beer I just finished it, my first half beer, and I was going to sit there without a beer for the last, 15, 20 minutes of the
That was
first
after
half.
that was after the before you got it to the game beer, and then after the pregame beer, though, right?
Yes, I believe my second first half beer was my fourth first beer of the day.
Yep. Okay. Well, if I can get my tokens on Saturday, I'm going to be having 10 first beers. Um,
Yeah. I think it's a
Probably
challenge to use all of your chips
tokens.
from the beer garden
I
into,
think if you do that, you get 10 free more. I
I
think that
believe,
is something I heard was if you use all 10 in one game, you get 10 free more. Um, probably not a until Mick Ultra officially sponsors us, we should probably stop giving them free advertising. But
well, I've been
they
going
just
FC Naples Blonde.
even after they give you the hat and the t-shirt.
I mean, you can get Mick Ultra anywhere. You can only get FC Naples Blonde at an
I'm gonna
FC
have to
Naples
try it
game.
on. I'm gonna have to try it on Saturday. I think. Yeah. How many beers has Thomas kicked over though? That's the question.
None so far.
None this year.
He
Okay.
has stuck his hand in quite a few. That's a new thing he's been doing is just
Okay.
sticking his hand into our food and drinks,
Hmm.
and thinking it's hilarious. So yes, he has stuck his hand in a few beers, as well as sticking his hand into the pizza we got from the food truck and getting it covered in cheese.
I think that I think that's going to be our main discussion point is best snacks and drink combinations at the stadium. That can be our topic next week. Um, but yeah, I think the water break, good idea. Back to circle back. I think that you're right that it almost breaks it up into quarters, which
Yep.
is how most American sports are played, other than hockey, which is Canadian. So that doesn't count. So yeah, I think it's a good. I think maybe, and I don't know, maybe it'll be a first half thing, not a second half thing, just because it'll probably be tolerable by 8:30, 8:15.
Now you have to remember you're saying it's tolerable for us that have lived in Southwest Florida for all of our lives, not necessarily someone from Portland, Maine, or even a international player from somewhere in Europe.
Well, do they give us warm up breaks in when we play in Maine in March?
This is true. Yeah, no warm up
Do
breaks in Spokane.
no. So it's home field advantage. You don't like the heat, go to a different league. I mean, we won't be here for long until 2028. We'll be here, but after that, the Portland Heart of Pines won't have to worry about playing us twice a year.
We'll be up in a USL Division One or whatever the heck they're
We're
gonna
gonna get
call it.
promoted. Yeah, they're just gonna say you guys were so good. You guys bypassed the championship, straight to League One or
Yeah,
whatever one.
the super promotion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can't wait for that.
I can't wait for when we kind of can recklessly speculate on it because I this is like a new concept. Like never before, like and maybe I don't know soccer history very well, and I don't. I don't know how they originally created the Premier League, but it had to have been 100 years ago. I mean, they've probably been playing, in the same similar concept.
The Premier League and the Championship and all that in the UK is a fairly recent being in the 90s.
Really?
Um, yeah, but they've always had, it used to be the Division One, Division Two, Division Three, or League One, or no, I think it was Division One, Division Two, Division Three, and it was promotion relegation from all of those.
But that's what I mean. Like it was obviously the
It's
names
always been
are
right.
different, but like it was you started, me and you could go buy a team and in 5 years, taking out mortgages on homes I don't have, and build a team that could eventually make it to the Premier League. But like this is the new thing because how are they going to do that? Or I don't know. We'll get into it later.
Yeah,
It just excites me so much.
and
Um,
yeah, seeing some of the stadiums in League One and even in the Championship where
mhm.
it's a baseball stadium and they've filled in part of the infield to play on. Um, it's interesting, and I honestly hope that it's just a free for all. I love the idea of just insane stadiums being in this
Anarchy.
first division.
The
Just
Tropicana is going to be where the
yes,
Tampa Bay Rowdies play. That's
yes.
the real reason they're rebuilding it. It's for them. They'll get more fans than the Rays.
Honestly, it might be close. As a Rays fan, it's probably close.
What are you looking forward to most Saturday?
Uh, Looking forward to having the team back. Another home game and another 3 points on the board. Um, I
Calling our
know
shots.
I know that's super cliche, but just love to keep racking up points. Also looking forward to seeing Carson Henderlong, hoping he can keep that goal streak going. The pride of Indiana. Um, just love the way he's been playing. Love to see him get on the score sheet again. 3 goals in 4 goals in 4 games now. Five, would it be 5 goals in 5 games? I'm trying to do the mental math
We got
here.
4 games. 4 games in, I think we have 5 goals.
And he's
Six
accounted
goals. We
for.
have 6 goals. We have 6 goals.
Right.
36. Yep.
But hoping he can score again. And then also just seeing these guys that I've kind of been high on all year with Onan and Farin, just continuing to show out, and our back line just staying solid. Another clean sheet for Delgado, hopefully. Hopefully, then we can get Delgado named into the USL League One Team of the Week because he deserves it.
Deserves it. Yeah, and I love, and this is why we work because you're going to give the technical answer. Me, this is my second game back. I'm excited to see the security lines Excited to see. You
New and
know,
improved.
I heard the upgrades from game two, and I want to see it for myself because I am guessing it's going to be even better. And we'll see when we walk in Saturday. You can tell me if it is better. And then I'm excited to get my tokens. I haven't gotten those yet, so I'm very excited for that. And I think this is the game we see some goals. I think that Naples is ready. I think that this could be an opportunity for some counterattack goals. I don't think we're going to change the way we play. But I think that this is, we can get into predictions later if you want, but I think this is going to be a 3-1 type finish. Um,
Okay.
that's going to be my prediction for this game. And I'm just excited to see the fans again and see if now that the buzz, quote unquote, has died off, it'll have been 2 weeks since the last game to see, now that it's, was that second game because everybody heard how great game one was and they wanted a piece? Or do we have, 3,800 fans that are going to be there every single night, which I would have to guess that's got to be a USL record. I, I can't think that there's another team in this league that's drawing 3,000 fans a game.
I believe Madison has quite the following.
What
Madison,
else is there to do in Madison?
right?
Nothing.
Other than eat cheese and drink beer. No offense to the Ford Madison people, they are very nice. It's we joke, we joke,
Okay, so we'll be nice to that team because
but
you
yeah,
got
they.
you got your friend over there. Um, but yeah, so I think those are kind of the things I'm looking forward to, and just seeing how this team continues to excite us, and we will find. I mean, I think every week, every game, we've had something that has excited us that was different than before, and that's because we're not going to say Delgado was amazing again. It's going to be something that's always there. So finding what the next thing that this team brings, they're like, wow, this is exciting or fun. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm I'm right there with you. It should be fun to continue to see this team evolve and grow, and especially as the season goes on. It's a crazy schedule looking at it because we play Portland Saturday, then home to Little Rock Rangers in the Open Cup on
Which can't be
Wednesday night.
intimidating. We're not playing Big Rock, we're playing Little Rock. So
Little Rock, yep.
we'll
Little
just
Rock,
bring
who
our paper. If
did
the
have a cup
fan,
set in the first round against Birmingham, so can't be taken
if
lightly.
FC Naples doesn't give out paper towels to every fan that walks in, I think our marketing team um, needs to be reevaluated. They've done a great job so far, but paper covers rock. So I think that would be a great giveaway. That would cost them $7.99 if they go to Costco, and they could just give every fan a paper towel. And then
One
when we
singular
score, we
paper
wave it.
towel.
What's that?
One singular
One single
paper
sheet. And,
towel.
and when we
Yep.
score, we wave it. And then if they score first, we soak it in our beer and throw it at them. That was a joke. For legal purposes, that one was a joke.
Please do not do that.
Please do not disrupt the game. We are not that fan base. We do not throw things on the pitch. That's where we draw
Not
the
yet.
line.
Not yet.
Not yet, until the ref's really
Not
bad.
ever. Not ever.
Even if the ref's really bad.
But home Wednesday night, 7:30 kickoff. That game just got added, and it was nice to see. It's included in our season tickets.
Hmm.
Don't have to buy an additional ticket for that. And then at Texoma, getting to go to Sherman, Texas.
Getting to go to the Texas-Oklahoma border, I think.
Yes,
I never
Texoma
actually
FC.
got a final after the last episode. I don't think I ever fully looked to see the actual location.
Yeah, it's quite a ways outside of Dallas. It looks like from from what I could tell. They did have a pretty good showing their first game. They lost 2-0 to Knoxville, dominated possession, but Knoxville seems to be pretty decent this year. But 3,200 came out to their home opener
Okay.
out in Sherman, Texas.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that's going to be another really big thing. And that's probably something Matt Poland's never dealt with was this much travel in his, coaching
Yeah, I
tenures. I
know
mean, even
Nisa has some insane travel, but again, you're flying out of Chicago there, big airport. You can probably get to most places direct.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what their schedule looked like, and he was over. I forget where in Europe he was for a stint, but I mean, there's no, and we talked about it before. There's no European country that is playing a more rigorous travel schedule outside of international competitions than what U.S. soccer teams have to deal with. And they're not flying private. They're probably not flying first class. Probably not business class until we win a few more games and we get that sponsorship from Frontier. Until we get that locked
I don't
up,
think Frontier has a business class. That actually might not work out the
maybe they
best,
have the
but
big
go
comfy
on.
seats like Spirit does now. There's like 12 good seats on the Spirit flight as a frequent flyer on Spirit. They got about 12, but so that's going to be the interesting. Like that week is going to be like one of those weeks when we play Richmond. I'm sorry, when we play Texoma on the road after third game in 8 days. We're going to see what these boys are made of. We're going to see what type of depth we have. And I think that that's kind of a circle on the calendar, not because of the opponent, but because of the circumstances. Um, and then you got a couple weeks at home. I think we then come back with 3 straight weeks of home games. We play the 12th, 19th, 26th, all at home. One of those being against Charleston. So that how we're going to manage that is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's nice to have the three home games, but then you go all the way out to right outside of LA and play AV Alta on May 3rd.
Yep,
Uh,
and then luckily then you get the 11 days off before we go to Chattanooga.
right, right. And that's assuming we don't have another cup game in there, which
True.
I'm hoping we do.
Yep.
Fully expect to playing another lesser side, but
Yeah,
it's
I mean, when you show up at FC Dallas as the favorite, I mean that's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting. Or when we're playing Atlanta United and we're laying -110 on the three-way money line, that's going to be exciting.
oh yeah. When we take down one of the when we're the ones causing the cup set and not worried about being cup set, which that's
Mm-hmm.
also one of my new favorite words is cup set.
Can
From
you
watching.
explain that for the fans at home and on the other end of the screen that may not know what that means
So a cup set is an upset that occurs in
in a
the
cup?
U.S. Open Cup.
Got it.
Yep.
Makes
So
sense.
anytime it's a lesser league playing a higher league in the Open Cup and the lesser league wins, it's a cup set.
Only an American term?
Probably. Yeah. I don't see
Classic.
it being used anywhere else. I can't see that being used in the FA Cup or
I'm going to
any.
start using it in the FA Cup when teams lose to League One teams.
Yeah. I mean, you can even start using it in whatever the NBA in-season tournament cup is called if you want.
Oh, they're all the same
When the
leagues.
Jazz beats the Houston Rockets,
Cup set.
cup set,
I like it.
cup set.
I like it. I like it. What do you got? Score prediction for Saturday. What do you got?
I'm gonna go another gritty 2-0. 2-0 to Naples. I think our back line's gonna be solid. I think we'll be able to hit them on the counter. I do think this Portland team's gonna be good. Haven't seen them in league action. Like you said, they won 4-0 in the Open Cup. In front of a great crowd. Credit to Portland where it's due. Their stadium's not ready yet, so that's why they've not played a home game, and I
Got
don't
it.
think they do play a home game for another month.
Hmm.
So they played this game at a high school football field in fog and rain and just like the standard is do it on a Wednesday night in Stoke. They did it on a Wednesday night in Stoke. They're the equivalent of Stoke in the U.S., which is apparently Portland, Maine. So I think they'll be pretty good. I think we're gonna have to be up for the challenge, and I think we are.
For people that wonder why, like if somebody's like, oh, why do you listen to that podcast? It's got to be because there's not one other person in in the country that knew that Portland played their first game not only at a high school stadium but also in the fog. I think that there were people there that didn't know that that was only a high school football stadium, and just the fact that you stay in touch is reason enough to tune into to this podcast because you get it all.
Oh yeah, I purposefully watch all of the Open Cup games on YouTube at night during Open Cup weeks for this podcast, and not because I've become a Open Cup sicko and enjoy it so much.
March Madness is going to be on Saturday night. What's Ian watching? Some
Open Cup.
random. middle school level team playing in the U.S. Open Cup. Why watch Duke, Alabama? Um,
No,
that's really
March.
bad because
It's. I still feel like I ingested a whole thing of Tums because this March Madness tournament was so chalky this year.
well, because of FC Naples, I can assure you the U.S. Open Cup will not be chalky, especially when Messi thinks he's rolling into Paradise Sports Complex. Not gonna be. He's not gonna play because it's turf. So we already got the leg up.
Well, and I also have some bad news. Inter Miami's too scared to play in the Open Cup.
They're not playing in it at all.
Nope. They've sent their B team.
Okay, so Inter Miami is, but it's not. I did hear that they weren't going to send their guys, which really stinks. But
No Messi this year
you
until
can only beat the guys that are on the field. And
it's true.
so far, Naples hasn't lost, so nobody's beaten us. Just as a reminder.
It's yeah. Yeah, undefeated. Undefeated in franchise history. Is
Never
Miami
lost.
undefeated in franchise history? Nope. Orlando? Nope. The Rowdies? Nope. Just saying.
Sarasota, whatever. No, I don't. I know nothing about their history, but they lost us, so no.
Yeah, exactly.
Spokane, no. You don't even have to watch a whole lot of soccer. You just right off the rip. Did they play FC Naples? The answer is yes. They're not undefeated.
Heck, San Diego FC, who's as old as FC Naples. Or I think FC San Diego, I don't know what their name is. They've got weird kits and they're
I think that's
sponsored by
what it is.
DirecTV.
San Diego FC. I don't know.
They're not even undefeated. FC Naples, undefeated.
So
Top of the
the
league.
MLS is scared, and I'll tell you why. So they offered a promo on DraftKings, not an official sponsor yet. They offered a promotion that if you bet $5 on any soccer game and you opt in, you get the rest of the year of the MLS package for free, for $5 year long. So I may definitely have that now. So if you
Now you
need the
can
code, I
watch.
got you.
Now you can watch your
Now I can
MLS.
now I can watch the lesser league, the future lesser league.
Yes, yes. With their awful Apple TV deal. Well, Apple TV loses billions of dollars even though they have Severance and Ted Lasso. Well, yeah, we're looking forward to this game. Paul, you said 3-1 earlier. Is that going to be your score prediction?
No, because I'm going to the game. It's probably going to be 1-0, not a goal. Till I'm going to say my fun prediction's 3-1, but because I'm going to be there, I suspect it's going to be slow and boring. We're probably going to get the goal in the 73rd minute, and yeah. So if you see a guy going nuts in the 73rd minute, 'cause we just took the lead 1-0, that will be me. Um,
Who's scoring the goal? Henderlong again?
what's the other guy's name? Oh, this is bad. The right
Corinne?
wing. Yes.
Onan?
No,
Or
Onan.
Corinne?
Onan, that's my
Onan?
guy. He's
Yeah,
Onan's getting our goal. He's gonna break through. 73rd minute, we're gonna put it on, and then the last 17 minutes is gonna be the boringest soccer you've ever watched because we're parking the dang bus, and once we go into that mindset, it's game over.
I love it. I love it. And I also have Breck Evans getting one of their players sent off for just being so solid at the back.
I like it.
That's my other hot take. Hot prediction.
Over one red card, over half
Over
a
one
red
red
card in
card.
this game, guaranteed. Lock
Yes.
it in. Other fun betting fact is you can bet on this league at MGM. The MGM app does offer USL. I think that's the only major sports book that I found it on. So I may be making a trip before my trip to ensure that I have my money on the 1-0 exact score for Saturday.
Now, can you get futures on USL League One and put money down on
I will
Naples to
have
win the
your
league?
answer next week's podcast. I don't want to give everything away. So we're going to leave some mystery for the fans for next week. I will let you know if and how much I will win when FC Naples wins the.
That is a Severance level cliffhanger right there. Like if you're not tuned into next week's episode to find that out, I don't know. Well, Paul, looking forward to the game. Looking forward to seeing you at the game. Any last words before we go?
Wars in Naples.
Forza Naples. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. Up the USL we go. I want to keep singing we're top of the league after the have another top of the league pod special.
Be ready if you're listening to this and going to the game Saturday. Be ready for when we start that on Saturday because we will that chant will have to get started Saturday.
Yes, we need the whole crowd behind it. Well, Paul, thank you as always. And as always, Forza Naples. Come on, you blue and gold. We'll see you at the game on Saturday.